What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with some news and announcements, guys. Lots is happening. I felt like I've needed to do this for a little while. Not just the fresh news from today, but just also a little bit of backlog of stuff that I've been meaning to sort of combine into one video. And so, without further ado, let's jump into tonight's announcements. We've got, first of all, some sweet new spoilers. For those of you who missed the official announcement from Wizards of the Coast, the first little trickle of new Capenna spoilers have started. And they've given us the land art, which is quite freaking sweet. I must tell you, I'm very hyped on this so far. The aesthetic is very pleasing to me. Just to remind you, it's some sort of like crime syndicate families, 3-color crime syndicate families. So the prediction was made even by me quite a while back when they first announced the set, that they would finally complete the triomes cycle. The triomes were the 3-color lands from Ikoria, and the speculation was that, you know, we had in Ikoria Abzan, so white, black, and green. We had the Jeskai triome. We had the Sultai triome. We had the Mardu triome. Now we're getting all the other ones. So the I mean, it wasn't a very tough call that I made when I guessed this, and of course I guessed right, as well as many others. So we're getting the Jund triome. We're getting the Grixis triome. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so sweet. These are like all my favorite guilds. We're getting the Bant triome. We're getting the Naya triome, Italian triome, baby. And we're getting the Esper triome. And the names here, from what I heard in the announcement video, have something to do with like who it is that's running the crime family. It'll be like the main mob boss of that crime syndicate family, Ziatora. And then there's one enchantment that they spoiled, which is just, oh my goodness, Broker's Ascendancy in Bant. Okay, so this is going to go straight into your Tamio, the new Tamio. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. For 3 mana. Interesting. Very interesting. To note, of course, they're all the types. So you can, for example, while it's still in standard, go fetch these with your Binding of the Old Gods. If this is, for example, says forest, or any other sort of effect that says, you know, you may search your library for a mountain or whatever, you can go and find Jetmir's garden. So pretty sweet thing to take note there. But anyway, that's it as far as spoilers. I will leave the link to this in the video description for you guys to go peruse at your heart's content. And the next little bit of news is, for those of you who did not know yet, they have not been very good at letting us know. But basically, boop, yeah, let me close this. There's going to be a new set coming very soon for Alchemy. And every major standard set release, about a month or so later, they haven't given the date yet, will be followed by a sort of expansion that goes along with it. So Kamigawa has just come out on March 11th, which is my next little bit of news, by the way. There's going to be a major tournament, the Neon Dynasty Championship. It's from March 11th to March 13th, and they're playing Alchemy and Historic. And that's very telling that it's alchemy, because right after this is when I'm guessing they're going to do the release. We're going to get a Kamigawa themed little expansion of alchemy only, digital only cards. So that's why I've got up here in my game 6,525 gold already saved up. Okay, I've already got 99% of the new set, so I don't really need to be buying boosters anymore. So I would have started saving anyway. But I recommend for those of you who, you know, are in a similar position to mine, to start saving, because we're already the 4th of March as I'm recording this. So in about a little over a week, we're getting a bunch of new cards, probably for not probably, certainly. I just in about a week is the thing I'm not certain about, but I'm guessing it'll be on around the 14th or so of March. We're going to be getting this influx of new cards for alchemy, and probably the channel is going to swap again back to alchemy for a little while as we explore the new cards, and we'll test out all the new stuff that goes on over there. Then last bit of news and announcements is the Neon Dynasty Championship, which I just touched upon. As you can see over here, I've posted on my Twitter as well. The dates are 11th to the 13th of March, as I already said. Alchemy and Historic. I'll be doing a watch party on the channel. I would love to have all you guys there. Get your snacks ready, get your beers in the fridge. Yeah, I'll be streaming the entire event on the BrewLab, so please tune in for that. But it's not all news and announcements. I did want to add on a little bonus brew for you guys. We had some technical issues today with the game. I wasn't able to connect for about an hour and a half to 2 hours in sort of one of the main moments when I would do most of my brewing, but don't worry, I still have something that I've cooked up for you. I do have to give credit where credit is due. I did get the initial idea from Deb at SBMTG. Go check him out, give him a subscribe, let him know in the comments that I sent you. He's one of my favorites of all the content creators by far. His stuff he's just hilarious. And his takes are always very on point. So he posted a list similar to this yesterday, and I'd already had this idea, and I was like, damn it, he beat me to it. So I jumped on it, and I'm of course made it my own, and completely changed the list as far as a lot of the spells and interactions. But the core shell is there. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. It's called GruulChantments, and it's super low to the ground. As you can see, it's 1.6 mana average and 20 lands, 24 enchantments, 8 instants, 12 creatures. So we're making use of these two cards that are mostly seeing play in your Naya runes, or only really seeing your play in Naya runes and in Selesnya enchantments. The both of them trigger whenever you cast an enchantment spell. You get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So we're taking a little bit of tech from the runes deck by running a full play set of both of the runes in the colors of the deck. So we've got the one that gives haste and +1/+0 and draw a card, and the one that gives trample and +1/+1 and draw a card. Whenever we cast these and we put them onto, of course, you want to put the one with trample on your generous visitor. You want to put the one with haste wherever it's necessary. We get to draw a card and grow these things, and they grow really, really quickly. The rest of the stuff is enchantments, pretty much, that will be triggering these guys when they enter the battle. When they are cast. The first great addition, fantastic, genius idea of Deb's is Kumano faces Kakkazan. So we've seen this already in the mono red aggro deck. First chapter just does 1 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, which can sometimes pick off a Lolth that's just entered the battlefield, which is quite nice. But then when you cast your next creature spell this turn, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So the play line of like this turn 1, Generous Visitor, turn 1. Then turn 2, Kumano faces Kakkazan. You put a counter on the Generous Visitor. You attack. Turn 3, you play the Kami of Transience. It triggers the Kumano faces Kakkazan. It comes into play as a 3/3, and then you start playing other enchantments, and you're off to the races. It's fantastic. Usually then on turn 3, I play Arni Slays the Troll, which I've been putting in my Gruul modified deck, which you guys haven't seen yet. I know I didn't post a poll today. The reason for that is because of all the server issues. That's why we're having this kind of more fun and janky deck today. Also, it's because I hit Diamond. I'm in Diamond 4, so I just don't mind playing a bit of, I can't drop any lower. So I'm going to test this out. It's been fun. But Arni Slays the Troll. It's kind of hasn't seen any play, but it's a fight spell. Initially, on the first chapter, target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So if this comes into play on turn 3, and this is already a 3/3, and then when you cast it, it triggers the Kami again, so it becomes a 4/4. You can have your Kami fight one of the things that's about to maybe block your Generous Visitor. That's now like maybe a 2/2, and you can swing in with that. And then on turn 4, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature you control. You put those on your Kami, and you put 1 red mana into your mana pool, so a little bit of ramp as well, which means then you can cast, potentially some of your other enchantments to keep growing your thing before you attack. And then finally, when the third chapter comes by, a little bit of life gain in the deck, which is fantastic, because at that point, your Kamis, if they haven't removed it yet, maybe like a 7/7 or an 8/8, and you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So fantastic card in the deck. Fits the archetype perfectly. This kind of fast Gruul, and yeah, nice little bit of removal as well, and life gain and ramp and growing your. It's an all-round package, and it's uncommon. So you guys can craft this deck. I mean, if you've already spent some wildcards trying out the Selesnya Enchantments deck, it means you've probably already got 4 copies of Kami of Transience. The only other rare is the Ranger class, which you've had because it's an old one. It's been around for a while. The rest are just the lands, but you don't have to do your mana base exactly as I have. So you could build this, you could make this deck really, really easily. So it's kind of like a budget episode as well. But on to the next card, we've got that Deb is not running either of these. They're 2 great new removal spells that I haven't seen anyone playing. They are fantastic in your modified deck, but even just incidentally in a Boros deck that has Luminarch Aspirant or a Showdown of the Skulls. Flame Discharge deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. So scalable. You can pump as much mana as you have into this thing and do as much damage as you want, which is fantastic. But there's an extra bonus. If you control a modified creature as you cast the spell, it deals X +2 damage. So even if you have 1 mana open, and so X is 0, as long as you have a modified creature on the battlefield, you can still deal 2 damage. So it's as long as you have a modified creature on the board, it's at its base 1 mana, 2 damage. But if you have more, then of course you can always kill a bigger creature than you have the mana available because of that extra 2. It's so sweet. And then the other one, Kami's Flare, which adds a little bit of reach in these type of aggro decks that somehow just need that to just get through for that last little bit of damage. It does 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, but then it also deals 2 damage to that permanent controller if you control a modified creature. So 2 great little removal spells now that I'm going to be trying to test out in my modified lists. Gruul modified coming up in the next couple of days. I'll put it in the poll for you guys to vote on it. But keep your eyes peeled for that. We know what the runes do. I don't need to touch upon these again. Haste and trample, blah blah blah, and of course being enchantments and drawing us cards. So the main card draw engines really are the runes of might. But then we've got the ranger class to add just another layer of like extra oomph, because can put counters on our creatures by casting enchantments, but we can also start putting counters on our creatures when we attack. It spirals out of control really quickly. You can go for these like turn 4, the opponent just scoops kind of things. But if you go a little bit later, then you get to level it up to level 3, like we've seen in my mono green decks and things. The Ranger class is just a card advantage engine in and of itself. You can start, because, you know, if you get hit by a sweeper, most of the time there's going to be enchantments on the battlefield. I haven't touched upon the Fang of Shigeki, which I'll get back to. and you know, there's so many enchantments on the battlefield that as long as it's not an exile sweeper like our nemesis Farewell, then our Kami of Transiences will keep coming back to our hand, because an enchantment will be going into the graveyard this turn and you can return them to your hand and then just replay them and start going off again. If we have Ranger class in play, you can also cast the stuff from the top of your library. So it's just like a real quick way. All your Kamis come back. Your Ranger class allows you to cast stuff off your library. You can restock after a sweeper quite nicely with this deck. Adding a little bit of resilience. Then I did want some artifact and enchantment removal, because it's, you know, lots of mirrors somehow. Suddenly I'm running this. I've like seen, you know, I've run into a couple copies of something similar. People running, also Naya runes and Selesnya enchantments are aplenty on the ladder. So a couple copies of Return to Nature making a comeback. Used to play this card a lot, and I like that it's 2 mana instant. Gets rid of the 2 main things I wanted to get rid of. But you can also get rid of a card from a graveyard, which can actually sometimes come in handy. Like, you know, against certain decks, you can pick out a Planeswalker from a graveyard that might get brought back with a Blood on the Snow, or you can get rid of a card that's got flashback that's sitting there. Those Rite of Oblivions are a pain in the ass. You just exile it from his graveyard. So quite nice. Talked about Arni, and that's the deck. That's the deck. It's like 1 and 2 drops and 20 lands. So nice and efficient and smooth, and it's just my kind of little thing here. It's a beautiful little creation. I would love to play this in paper. So I said I would go back and touch upon the Fang of Shigeki. It's really sweet and important because, well, first of all, it's an enchantment creature. Second of all, you can grow it with your Generous Visitor, because it can put its +1/+1 counters wherever it wants. And second of all, third of all, it's got Death Touch, and it's a great blocker. You just leave it there. You can keep attacking with your stuff, your big trampoline boys, and hold up Fang of Shigeki, and your opponent can't really attack, or, you know, you can make sure that his biggest thing can't get through or whatever. So really, really nice little addition. And then, of course, Kumano comes back as the etching, and you can also start putting some +1/+1 counters on there with, you know, Ranger class, Arni slays the trolls, your Generous Visitor. You can. I think I've done enough talking. Let's jump into some games. We've got 2 of each of the legendaries, 1 of each of the creature lands, some duels, and some basics. Let's do this. I hit Diamond today with Mardu Artifact Sacrifice, best of 3. I sniped the list from Crokies and I made some adjustments, and I just played best of 3, and I got to Diamond in like less than an hour. I won 3 matches in a row, just boom, boom, boom. If you guys want to see that list, yeah, it's quite a bit different from Crokies. If you want to see it, just drop me a comment down below. I'll paste it somewhere. Sure. Panzer 100. Mono White is back. Ooh, never mind. It's probably Naya humans. Nice. Skadoosh. Swing for 3, 4. Isn't that just so lovely? Probably go Ranger class next. Oh, that's got protection from werewolves, not wolves. Okay, it's fine. Ranger class makes a wolf, not a werewolf. We just go for another Arni. We do get an additional red source. We could even Flame Discharge. Plus Arni. I think that's a great idea. Two 4/4s on turn 3. Paying 0, confirming 0. Swing for 8. Badoosh. It's a sweet little deck, guys. I definitely recommend it. I would highly recommend it. This comes with a full BrewLab. Ooh. Ooh. Not life gain. Okay, we need trample. Now we're gaining 4 life. Okay, Shigeki's not bad. Opponent didn't want to stick around and see. Basically, we would have gotten the red mana, so we can Shigeki, grow them again, and then discharge. Or I could have got this options. I could have gone Ranger class, discharge. On to the next one. Gruul aggressive saga enchantments. If anyone had told me that would be a thing a year ago, I would have laughed in their faces. Hopefully we get a Kami this time around. The trample was about to become a problem if, you know, they had one more turn. Luckily we put in quite a bit of damage and they scooped, but they had that life gain engine going there. Fang of Shigeki, 1 Kami's Flare. Sure. Hank H. Oof. What? Oh no, this is Naya. Okay. We have a modified creature, so it also deals damage to face. Skadoosh. Now we need a top decker creature to cast on top of this level. Yes! Love it when the deck just listens, mate. People are going to start seeing this and they're going to be like, oh shit, we need to copy this. Watch this. And now we get a 2/2. He's going to scoop, unfortunately. Oh, and we get it. And we're swinging in. That gets exiled because of the Kumano, which is great in the mirror because they don't get back their Kamis of Transiences down to 2. Okay, it does in this case because it wasn't killed then. I think that's going to be game. I'm telling you, in testing, I couldn't believe it. And then I just kept playing and I'm like, okay, this might be a little bit of a blind spot in the meta. It's quick, it's fun. Watch this. Oh, you're so screwed. Let me finish. Oh, Return to Nature could have killed the Naturalist. Okay. Because it's an enchantment, and then just play another Shigeki, which triggers everything, and it's nasty, guys. It's nasty, I promise you. And I really like the fact that you can grow the, the flipped etchings of Kumano. Usually it just sits around as a 2/2, and it can't do much attacking. You just kind of have it for its static ability, which is great. But here you can give it trample and put counters on it. On to the next one. It's going to be a little bit shorter video tonight, guys. I have to, get to bed. This was mostly an announcement video with just like a bonus brew attached on the end. I've got something fantastic planned for tomorrow, but I hope, you guys vote for it. Or I might just put up a vote just to see what you guys are feeling, but I might end up just doing what I feel like. Because this new brew that I've got going for tomorrow is really something. Okay. Kind of wonky ordering of the cards here. Let's see. What I'd love is a generous visitor. Okay. Now what I'd like is another land. What is with these mirrors? Okay. Shigeki is also not bad. But still, a land would have been better. T. Okay, here's a land at least. So we can go Kami's Flare into Kumano. Next turn we can cast Shigeki and give it haste. But we're down to 2 cards. It's not feeling too good. That's terrible. That's terrible. We need removal like now. Even Arni slays the troll, I'll use it. I'll use the death touch. Oh, that's very good. I haven't seen that done. That's so nice. Untap. Well done, opponent. I don't know, man. This is looking terrible. He's gonna cast something else now. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Oh no. We're so screwed. Okay, good game. Well done, opponent. Good on you, mate. That was a beautiful little deck you've got there. Very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. I've never seen that done before. Very clever. The snow archetype still going hard, hey? I mean, he has access to Blizzard Brawl, Frostbite, Jorn. Clever, clever, clever. I might have to steal some ideas from that dude. On to the next one. Can't win them all. Alright, I think we're going to do the last match of the night. Let's try and end on a victory as usual. And then I will love you and leave you. Still got a little bit of homework to do for the channel. By the way, guys, one last bit of news that I forgot to add. I will repeat it at some other point as well, but I'm on the move again. On the 15th of this month, I'm heading to Kenya, kind of like Northeast Africa. If for those of you who don't know, not full north, but like, yeah, East Africa. And yeah, we're spending a month there. Content will continue to come. I will be probably spending about 1 or 2 days sort of like in transit traveling there. So I'll make sure to pre-record a few clips to have automatically go up on the channel while I'm on transit. And then we'll be staying in this beautiful beach area, palm trees, and I'll of course show you guys some of my travels as usual. That is a fantastic opening hand. Love an untapped land. Well, that's fine. Same as the opponent. Iteration. I hope it's the mill category of is it? Because it's a little bit less scary. Fading Hope on the wolf, maybe? Fading Hope. It is really just my hope fading. Not bad though. I get to recast it on the level 2 of Kumano. And then I'll just give it haste. Now hold back the Shigeki in case there's like a little micro sweeper here, a la Cinderclasm. Kenta, full stop. I'm Kenta, full stop. Hello, Mr. Kenta. Okay. Still kind of doing our thing. But I'm terribly worried about like a burn down the house now, or there's that Saga sweeper from the Giants deck. Whew. Okay. Oh, let's go to range class level 3. See what's on the top of the library. You're still dead, no? Unless you just found yourself a fading hope. Cheeky bugger. Meanwhile, we're like flooding. Sorry, is it player? Go home. Off you go. Stinky, stinky, stinky brew. I've got an Is It deck though that is nothing like those. Doesn't have a single copy of it. Expressive Iteration, I promise. That I really, yeah, I think without giving too much away, it's what I want to play tomorrow. It's humming along. Another beautiful creation. But we ended on a win, so that's going to be it for tonight's video, guys. But thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.